Welcome to my new video on myth in measuring sustainable human resource management. Now, I've decided to make this video because many times when I deliver keynote address in Sustainable HRM conference or when I conduct any workshop on sustainable HRM, a lot of researchers have started asking me that, look, I've measured sustainable HRM and sent it to journals, and the journals tends to be rejecting it with the idea saying that sustainable HRM is not a valid concept to be measured with one measure, right? So to help researchers, as there are more and more researchers are interested in sustainable human resource management, I thought I'll create this video to help you understand why it is not a valid research approach to measure sustainable human resource management. Hence, I thought I'll start with this first slide, which helps you to say why sustainable HRM as a measure is not valid, and that's the reason why many journals don't endorse the idea of that measurement. So why? The first thing is sustainable HRM is a field and not a construct. So we need to now understand, what do we really mean by a construct and what do we really mean by a field? So then you know why we are talking about, sustainable HRM as a field, and it is not a viable option or a research option to measure sustainable human resource management. So if you look at what is a construct, now a construct explains a concept, that's fair enough. And the construct can be empirically measured using some latent variables, right? So that's the key. What we are now talking about is your construct is measuring a concept using latent variables. So what are concepts? Some of the constructs what you have in sustainable human resource management are high performance sustainable work practices, health harm of work, green HRM, and ESG sustainability outcome. These are some of the constructs which we talk about in sustainable human resource management. So these can be measured with latent variables or dimensions within each of these constructs. Now let's try and understand, what do we really mean by a field? So if you look at this, a field of research is a domain or range of constructs. The key of that is those range of constructs collectively determine the properties of a body of science. So there are range of constructs in a field, right? Now that's the key part, what we need to understand if we are trying to measure sustainable human resource management. So based on this definition, let's understand what do we really mean by sustainable human resource management. So sustainable human resource management represents the interdependent or complex interdependent work-related factors, right? Those work-related factors shape and facilitate employee behavior to achieve organizational sustainability outcomes. So we are now talking about complex interdependent work-related organizational factors. So what are they? Those are the ones which we mention as construct. So let's now try and understand what are the complex, interdependent variables related to the field of sustainable human resource management. So what you see in this slide, these are examples of domain of constructs. So the range of constructs, are examples what we have, and there are more than what I have shown in this slide. So if we look in terms of, these are the multiple complexes, constructs which we have in sustainable human resource management, right? So if you see these constructs, so there you go. Now, what this simply means is these are the constructs which helps us to understand sustainable human resource management, right? So if we're looking at understanding the complexity, so if you see that these are the constructs, right, which helps us to understand sustainable human resource management. How is it possible to measure all these constructs together? It's never possible. So that's the reason why, it is believed that it is not possible to measure sustainable human resource management as a construct. So if I want to do more research in sustainable human resource management, I'll be looking at how these constructs can be used as independent and dependent variables, also as moderating and mediating variables in understanding different aspects of sustainable human resource management. So this slide shows you that there are complex interrelated domain of constructs make sustainable human resource management as a field. So if you want to understand sustainable human resource management, you cannot measure it with one measure. So the aspect what I wanted to tell you is there needs to be some caution, right, among sustainable HRM researchers that sustainable HRM is a field with domain of constructs. So it is not valid research approach to measure sustainable human resource management as a construct. So thank you for watching this. I hope it helps future researchers to focus on the different constructs and appreciate sustainable HRM as a field rather than as a construct. Thank you.